afternoon and welcome to Prairie Park. Jason Liggett joined by Urbana High School senior Mike Monreal as we are set for Big 12 conference play between the Urbana Tigers and the Purple Raiders of Bloomington High School. And the Tigers got off to a slow start this season, but they've won their last two games, Michael.
Yeah, and hopefully they can continue that, make it a third in a row. Obviously, you know, the first two wins get your confidence up, and now just hopefully take it on from there and bring home another W.
On the bump today for the Tigers is Levi Coffey as he fires in strike number one. It's a one-on count to number 10, Daniel Ferrier, the DH for the Purple Raiders.
And I think that's foul.
Yeah, Ferrier gets a hold of that one. That is foul down the third baseline and out of play. At the Urbana High School softball field, the dugout and the scorer's box blocks third base, so we can't see anything beyond midway to the third baseline. Here we can see everything, but if they go foul, the fence occasionally will get in our view.
Especially with it being a little gray outside, it'll be a little bit harder to tell. Keep hold of a small little white baseball.
Yep, gray outside today. A little bit of a breeze here at Prairie Park, but by Prairie Park standards, it's as still as it gets. It's usually pretty windy out here today, but today is nice and low 60s, I would say, temperature. There's the bunt from Ferrier, and it rolls foul.
Wait, did he call it fair? No, he did not. Okay, I thought he called it fair for a second.
One on the count here, or 0-1 rather. Hard to tell the scoreboard.
It's a little jumbled when you're looking through the fence.
0-2 the count now on Alec Imhoff.
And that'll be foul.
Here's the 0-2 delivery from Coffey. Right back to the pitcher, and he's going to flip that to Miller Calhoun at first for the easy second out of the inning. So 2 up, 2 down here for the Tigers. That's going to bring up Nick Sharp.
And that'll be ball one.
Sharp, a junior, starting at third base today for the Raiders. He pops that one up, and just behind our area here, behind home plate, the strike number one, 2-1 the count now.
He's getting ready to catch that.
You would have had to have some speed, leap off the top row of these bleachers to get to that one.
Whew.
That one's popped up.
And that'll be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Levi Coffey.
So exactly what the Tigers wanted there. We've seen a couple times this season where their
first inning always goes a little rough, but this one went pretty well. Top of the first.
We'll see if the top half of the first can carry over into the bottom half for the Tigers. See if they can get anything going offensively here. The Raiders get no one on base. No one comes across the plate, of course. 3 up, 3 down. We're headed to the bottom of the first and scoreless here at Prairie Park.
Now hopefully we can see Urbana generate a little bit of offense. Honestly, really just looking for some nice solid base hits into the outfield. Drive a couple guys in, get an early lead.
Is it just my imagination, or did they put up foul posts here? Did they paint them recently, or I don't remember them being...
No, they did. They put them up. You're talking about the orange ones over there?
Yeah, the orange ones. Those are new? Okay, that's what I thought.
I came to watch a buddy of mine, Dan Wachtel, who played for the baseball team, and I don't remember them being here.
Well, you were just here like 2 weeks ago with me. You're talking about like 2 years ago, if you remember them or not.
Actually, it would have been 3 years ago, now that I think about it. 'Cause I would have been a freshman.
Dan was a pitcher for the Tigers back in the day, if I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plays hockey now. And I think it'll be Jordan leading off.
Yep, Jordan Smith going to lead things off for the Tigers, and the hole is pitcher Levi Coffey, or on deck rather, Levi Coffey.
Ball one.
Well hit ball there by Smith. He's going to round first base and stay put as the Tigers have the leadoff man on with a single.
And that'll bring up Levi Coffey.
So see if Coffey can support his own cause here for the Tigers. He looks down to Coach Gino Hoffman for some signs, and a solid lead there by Jordan Smith over at first base. Coffey gets a hold of that one. Over the head of the right fielder. Coffey's going to round first. He's headed to second. Gino's waving Jordan Smith home and then holds him up at third.
That'll bring up Jacob Welbus.
So a double by Coffey advances Smith to third base. The Tigers have two in scoring position with no out. Welbus starting at shortstop today.
And they're going to bring in a pinch runner for Levi Coffey.
That's Hayden Hartley. Hartley, a sophomore at Urbana High School. We've seen him in action first couple of games here at Prairie Park that we've covered.
And that'll be a ball way down in the dirt.
Miller Calhoun on deck for Urbana.
And that'll be ball two in the dirt again.
Welbus grounds that one to short, and they catch Jordan Smith, not where he wants to be. And they're tag Jordan Smith as he was caught between third and home. But Welbus ends up at second base, and Coffey heads over to third.
And that'll bring up Miller Calhoun.
Owen won the count here to Calhoun. 1 out in the bottom of the first. The Tigers threatening to score early on in this ball game. They got runners on second and third.
And that'll be, oh!
Nibbled the inside corner there for strike number 2.
And that'll be a foul.
Calhoun behind on that pitch. Let's see if he can get ahead on that one. That one's high. Calhoun, tallest guy on the team by at least a few inches for the Tigers, but that one was eye level at his height.
Oh, yeah. Thought it was going to be a wild pitch for a second.
And that's strike number 3 on Calhoun. He goes down looking for strikeout of the game for Rylan Hambleton.
It'll be Alex Poor up to bat.
So the Tigers with a hot start here in the first inning, getting runners on second and third, and now 2 straight outs. See if they can get a run or 2 across here. That one low and outside for ball number 2. Alex Poor starting at third base for the Tigers today. He looks at ball number 3. All 3 have been outside. On deck for Urbana is catcher Andrew Mancuso. And a full count here. The Tigers would really like to get an early lead here at Prairie Park on this Tuesday afternoon. Here's the pitch, and that one's high for ball number 4. So bases are loaded with Mancuso coming up to the plate. Mancuso, a sophomore at Urbana High School. He rips that one to short and not able to field it.
And that'll be 1.
Is Bloomington, so he gets the RBI there, as coming across the plate is number 15 for the Tigers. That's their pinch runner, Hayden Hartley. And now we're going to see
another
pinch runner as Mancuso's going to go ahead and suit up in his catcher's gear.
And that'll be foul. Almost hits the light. That'd have been interesting. See it hit the light.
Fraley up to the plate now for Urbana. Just a little blooper there, but at the edge of the grass, and he's going to end up with an RBI single. And it's going to be close, but it's safe underneath the tag, and it's 3-0 Tigers.
And that'll bring Will Brown up to bat.
So Tigers with runners at the corners here, 2 out.
Happy to see your wrestling teammate of mine up there.
Will Brown getting the start in right field today for Urbana. Brown a little behind on that ball. That one low and outside for ball number 2. So a 2-2 delivery here from Ryland Hambleton of Bloomington. And that's his third strikeout of the game as he gets Will looking. So the Tigers get 3 across the plate. They strand 2. And they're going to take a 3-0 ball game into the top half of the second inning. Well, I see you wear your hat.
Oh, yeah.
I have a hat in the car, and when I was walking up here, I said, oh, no, I don't need it. And
well, I mean,
I think I'm going to need it.
I just always either have on, either my Bears hat or my Cubs hat. I don't feel right without my hat on, so have to grab one of them before I leave. I'm just happy I picked the right hat instead of more of the ball cap Cubs hat that I.
Oh, gotcha,
wear. Yeah.
gotcha. Shortstop Ethan Crutcher up to the plate for Bloomington. On deck is Crew Leathers. He gets a hold of that one and sent it for a ride, but out there in left field for the Urbana Tigers.
Jordan Smith.
Well played ball there by Smith. Here's right fielder Crew Leathers, looks at strike number 1. And swings for strike number 2 there.
Swings at a ball in the dirt.
Here's the 1-2 delivery from pitcher Levi Coffey. And contact is made, hit into shallow left field, and it will be caught for the second out of the second inning.
So 2 quick outs here so far. Hopefully we can get a quick third.
Catcher Ben Wellman up to the plate for Bloomington now. Gorapesic on deck. And that ball well hit.
And that'll be a home run.
He got a hold of that one, and it's been a little bit of time since we've seen an out-of-the-park home run here at Prairie Park, at least the games that we've been broadcasting.
First one I've seen.
But Ben Wellman, catcher for the Bloomington Purple Raiders, gets a solo home run and gets the Bloomington Purple Raiders on the scoreboard. It's a 3-1 ball game here in the top of the second with 2 out. First baseman Jesse Gorapesic up to the plate now for Bloomington. And that was a well-hit ball, and, I didn't know how well hit, but if you looked at Jordan Smith, he just kind of watched it. And when you have someone just watching it, it means it's pretty well gone. And back-to-back hits here for Bloomington as Gorapesic gets a single. They're going to try to keep the line moving here on Coffey. Brady Newhouse up to the plate. Left fielder Matt Steers on deck with just 2 out. The Tigers hope not to see him until the 3rd. Another well-struck ball there by Bloomington, but that is fouled out of play.
And
That one.
oh, we missed it.
That one was kind of blooped up to 3rd, and unable to come up with it was Alex Poor for the Tigers. So now runners on 1st and 2nd for Bloomington with 2 out here in the top of the 1st. Bloomington already got a run across here due to the home run of Ben Wellman. And Coffee hits him. So after a line out and pop out to start the inning, home run by Wellman, followed by a single from Gorapesek, another single from Newhouse, and Steers just got hit by a pitch. Bases loaded here, 2 out. The delivery from Coffee, that one gonna score some runs, probably a couple. We see Bloomington gonna tie the game here in the top of the 2nd. Oh, and hit another batter there. So Coffee getting a little shook up here in the 2nd inning, and that's going to load the bases again for Bloomington. So a 3-3 ball game here. The Tigers score 3 in the 1st. Bloomington turns around and scores 3 in the top half of the 2nd, and perhaps still going.
I mean, if I'm Levi here, I'm just looking to get a quick out. Doesn't matter how it comes. Line out, pop up, strike out. Just get through this inning and hope your offense can help you out a little bit.
Third baseman Nick Sharp up to the plate now for the Purple Raiders. He looks at strike number 1. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He popped out back in the 1st. That one just nibbled on the outside corner there. I thought that might have been a strike, and I wasn't alone. You saw a couple of Urbana fielders head to the dugout, but ball number 1, a 1-2 count. And that one, as we see Sharp lays off of it, he was ready to make some contact there, but that one low and outside evens things up at 2 apiece. And another full count here. The top half of the 2nd. That one fouled back
ball
behind us. And got him looking right there.
See, Bloomington didn't much agree with that one, but looked like a strike from up here. So
facing adversity, Levi Coffee gives up 3 runs there in the top half of the second, but able to get out of the bases loaded jam. So Bloomington leaves 3 stranded, but gets 3 across the plate to tie things up. We're knotted up at 3 apiece going into the bottom half of the second inning.
So far, hopefully, with the way it's shaping up, this will end up being a pretty good game.
Well, it'll be a high-scoring game if it keeps on this pace. I don't think it will. Things tend to even out here a little bit. Is this Will Brown leading off?
No, that is Zeke.
That's Zeke. Okay, I think the lineup I was given has different numbers here. Jordan Smith up to the plate now for Urbana. We saw him make a nice catch out there in the outfield, and he's 1 for 1 on the day. He singled his first time up. Makes contact with that one. That one's popped high, shallow left field, and coming up with the catch is Bloomington's Matt Steers. Hamilton fires that one in there for strike number 1. 1-1 count now to Levi Coffey. And make it 1-2.
That was a ball. That was outside. That was a bad call.
Well, he's a little bit closer than you are. And making contact is Coffey. A little blooper there. See if Bloomington can come up with it, and they do. So 3 up, 3 down in the bottom half of the second. Things remain tied at 3-3. We're headed to the top of the third here at Prairie Park. Jason Liggett joined by Urbana High School senior Mike Monreal. Shortstop Ethan Crutcher due up for Bloomington. He led off last inning as well. And he got a hold of that ball, if you'll remember, but hit it right in the direction of left fielder Jordan Smith, who made the routine play out in left field.
Yep. Hopefully this inning goes by quick, more like the first inning.
You got places to be, huh?
Nah, just keep them off the bases. I hope Urbana's up and batting for a while. Put up 15 in an inning if you can. Why not?
We appreciate you tuning in on Urbana Public Television, Comcast Xfinity's channels 6 and 1096, AT&T UVerse channel 99, i3 Broadband channel 6. Of course, we stream live, livestream.com/Urbana. You can also watch the game on YouTube, youtube.com/UPTV6. Two and 0 the count now to Crutcher. Crutcher fouls that one down the first base side.
And that'll land over by the batting cages.
Anyone in there?
Nope.
No.
Not like last time where they got the big surprise, the middle of batting practice.
Gave him another ball to try to hit, right?
Why not? And another foul ball.
That one fouled back to the soccer field behind us. 2-2 the count. I think if you're Coffee and the Tigers, you really want to get this first out and get the third inning started off right after a rough second inning.
And that'll be a full count. And that'll be strike 3. Swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt.
Right fielder Crew Leathers back at the plate for Bloomington. He fouls that one straight back for strike number 1. Adjusting the scorebook here as we see out number 2 recorded.
Yep.
Did you see what happened there?
I think it was just a strike. Oh, it was a strikeout, yeah. Another guy swinging a pitch in the dirt.
All right, well, back-to-back strikeouts to lead off the third inning here for Coffee and the Tigers. Up to the plate now for Bloomington is catcher Ben Wellman. And we know what Wellman did last time up. Hit a home run out of the park here at Prairie.
Ball 3. It's a 3-0 count. I'd say at this point, you just got to take the risk and you just got to throw him some heat down the middle, get that strike in there, hopefully.
See if he takes your advice there. He does
does.
just that. You're a pitching coach on the weekends, right?
I guess so. No, he's
Well struck ball down the third base side, and it's going to be caught out there by Jordan Smith for the third and final out of the top of the third here.
Yeah, most of the baseball I know, at least, just all kind of taken from what Cubs pitchers will do when they're stuck in that scenario, and most of them will just cut their losses and throw some heat down the middle because they don't have much of a choice. They don't want to give up the walk, but the guy's obviously not swinging at your pitches to try to fool him, so you just gotta throw him some heat and hope it works out.
Shortstop Jacob Welbus due up for Urbana.
And I think on deck would be Calhoun.
Welbus reached first base in the first inning on a fielder's choice. It's when they caught Smith trying to run home. I don't know what's going on back there in the distance, but there's some.
Here's some yelling. That's about it. Can't really tell what they're saying.
Hamilton with 3 Ks on the day, all coming in the first inning. Contact made on the first pitch and could be caught.
He caught it.
And it is.
And that'll bring up Miller Calhoun. 0 for 1 on the day, but I had a feeling Miller's got a hit coming up.
So Welbus pops out in foul territory. Calhoun wants time, steps out of the box, takes a swing, and right back in there.
And that'll be a foul ball.
Yeah, he just nipped that one and goes foul down the first base side. So the 0-1 delivery from Bloomington's Rylan Hamilton.
And that'll be ball 1. Ball 2.
That one bounces in the dirt, and Wellman unable to scoop that one up. 2-1 the count here to Calhoun.
And that's a pop up.
He hits that a mile high. It's coming down, and do they get that? Another falling catch out there for Bloomington's defense, and
he did catch it.
They get the second out. Poor knocks one down the third base side. He's running to first, but not quite quick enough. A routine play there for Bloomington as we see Nick Sharp fire over to Gorapesic for the third out of the third inning. So the Tigers go 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the third.
Relatively quick third inning right there.
We have 3 up, 3 down in both directions. We had Bloomington's Ethan Crutcher struck out, followed by Crew Leather striking out, and then Bill Wellman popped out on the Tigers' offensive side of things. Popping out in foul territory was Jacob Welbus. Miller Calhoun popped out, and then Alex Poor popping out to end the inning. So a 3-3 ball game as we're headed to the fourth here at Prairie Park. not a large crowd here in attendance today. It kind of comes and goes as the weather comes and goes, I think, and certainly a Tuesday weekday game is sometimes harder for parents and students to get to as well.
Yeah, I know for a lot of parents, especially with their work schedule, I know my mom, it was real difficult for her to make it out to most of my football games or my wrestling matches, but she made it to what she could. With her being a nurse, it was kind of hard to tell when she'd get off.
First baseman Jesse Gorapesic up to the plate. He looks at ball one inside. He's 1 for 1 on the day. He had a single back in the second inning. I think that was a ball. The scoreboard marked it differently. I think it's an 0-2 count here at Prairie Park. Regardless, that one's hit and well, and the Tigers are going to have to chase that one down. It goes rolling to the warning track. Out there at center field for Urbana, and throwing that one into a relay. Close play at third. Out.
I mean, I can see that from here. So I was saying, if they called that safe, that would have been just a horrible call.
So Fraley's out there in center field. He tracked that ball down, threw it to the cutoff man.
Beautiful throw.
And they fire to third base to get the out. Well hit ball from Gorapesic to start off the fourth inning for the Purple Raiders, but to no avail as he got a little greedy going for third, and the Tigers made some good defensive moves to get that ball in and apply the tag.
And looks like Zeke Brown will get that. Yep. And that'll be out number 2.
Matt Steers hit by a pitch back in the second inning, and that one low and outside for ball number 1. Steers knocks that one to second base. Fielded by the Tigers.
And
low
that'll be
throw,
out.
and they get the out.
Going into the bottom of the 4th, it's still tied up 3-3.
So another 3-up, 3-down inning for Levi Coffey and the Tigers. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th, knotted up at 3, as you say, Mike. And what do the Tigers have to do to get some runs across here?
I feel they more so need to just focus on solid contact as opposed to power. Just a couple of nice base knocks, try to get at least a 1-run lead. Obviously, more runs would be nice, but I'd say focus more on contact than anything. Get on base, get some guys across.
Well, we'll see if catcher Andrew Mancuso can make some contact. He's 1 for 1 on the day with an RBI single back in the first. In fact, 2 runners scoring on that he just had the 1 RBI single coming across to score. You can follow Urbana High School Athletics on Twitter. It's at AthleticsUrbana. Athletics Director Steve Waller does a nice job of updating scores and letting you know of any sorts of cancellations or anything, which is always important this time of year. A lot of rainouts that we'll see in baseball and softball season.
Yeah, a lot of games end up having to get replayed, and just I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, senior night got rained out and they had to reschedule it. And that'll be ball 1.
Rylan Hamilton has settled in here nicely after the Tigers plated 3 in the first. It's been a couple of 3 up, 3 down innings. That one's popped up high, and they weren't too sure who's going to catch it, but Rylan comes up with the grab over the catcher, Ben Wellman, and gets the first out. So Garrett Fraley up for Urbana now. He's got a couple RBI on the day. One and one the count here to Fraley. As the wind picks up at Prairie Park, Fraley gets a hold of that one.
That looks like he caught it.
Another diving catch there by the Bloomington Purple Raiders, and they're doing a nice job in the field, Mike.
Yep. And that'll bring up Will Brown.
Brown 0 for 1 on the day, struck out back in the first. Tigers haven't had a base runner since the first inning.
Bad call. That was way outside. I could see that.
And there's strike number 2, an 0-2 count now. Will Brown going to try to keep things alive here for Urbana. And not able to do so. Swing and a miss. So strikeout number 4 for Rylan Hamilton and the Bloomington Purple Raiders. Will goes down swinging. 3 up, 3 down. The Tigers don't get any runs across, so still knotted up at 3 as we're headed to the top of the 5th inning here at Prairie Park.
This game has gone by relatively fast, but if it keeps up, we're probably going to extras. So.
Well, I tell you what, after they scored 3, you said it's going to be a, it's going to be an exciting game, lots of runs. And then as soon as you said that, they stopped. So maybe now that you say, oh, we're going into extras, everyone will start hitting again, and we'll get back some crooked numbers on the scoreboard.
I thought after those first few innings, I thought this will be a barn burner. It'll be the baseball equivalent to when the Rams played the Chiefs.
That was like a college game.
Oh my gosh, it was ridiculous. There was no defense whatsoever. I don't know how Pat Mahomes threw 5 picks that game and they still were in it until the end of the game. And that'll be a foul ball.
DH Daniel Ferrier up to the plate for Bloomington. He's 1 for 2 on the day, 2 RBIs, single back in the 2nd inning. He swings and misses to even up the count at 1 apiece.
Oh, wait, no, I think they had it wrong the first time. I think it's 0-2. I think they had it 1-1 at first and then switched it. And
you're probably right, since that was strike number 3 and Ferrier is out. Alec Imhoff up to the plate for Bloomington. He goes to lay down a bunt, and good job by him, but a better job by Levi Coffey. He slides into that, gets up and fires it to Miller Calhoun at first for the 2nd out, of the inning.
Yeah, I mean, that was some solid defense right there from Levi. I believe that's his second bunt attempt of the game. And that'll be strike one.
Sharp is 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Popped out in the first and struck out in the second. Wild pitch there from Coffey as it's outside by a couple of feet. That one right down the middle, and Sharp gets a hold of it. See if Urbana's defense holds up, and it does. Coming up with the grab out there was center fielder Garrett Fraley.
Urbana's going to need to generate some offense here in the bottom of the fifth. Obviously, 7-inning game, so I mean, hey, maybe we'll end up going MLB regulation with this and end up being a 9-inner.
We'll see. If that's the case, I don't think we'll get out of here by 7:30 as or 7 o'clock or whatever time I told you originally.
Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And it'll be Zeke Brown up to bat with Jordan Smith on deck.
Brown popped up his first go-round back in the second inning. He was the only Urbana batter not to get up to the plate in the first, as that's when Urbana got 3 across the plate. Not much offense since then for the Tigers. Maybe something there, as that's a nice blooper into right field.
And he misses it!
And that'll be a double for Zeke Brown. So good way to start off the bottom of the fifth inning here if you're Urbana. Zeke Brown pops one into right field, and the right fielder for the Bloomington Raiders unable to get to it and goes rolling past him. He's now at second. They go to try to, you don't see that too often in high school baseball there at second base trying to
I mean, honestly,
hang him out.
Feel like you rarely even really see it in majors. I haven't seen too many guys try to pick off someone at second. Second baseman missed it, but luckily his center fielder was right there to...
and there's a butt laying down, and he's going to be safe at first base. So, I think the plan was there. Looking at Coach Gino Hoffman's expression was for Zeke Brown to sprint to third, but he stood still.
I think he kind of thought, well, I think they're going for me if I go, so might do the safe thing and stay here. Ball one. Levi Coffey hopefully can help his own cause at this point and knock in a run or two.
Ball number 2 as that one's outside. That one popped high, right field. Looks like the second baseman's underneath it, and he comes up with the routine pop fly there. Just at the edge of the grass.
Here comes Jacob Welbus.
Welbus had a fielder's choice back in the first and popped out in foul territory back in the third. That one outside for ball 1.
That was a ball.
And he evens up the count there at 1 apiece. Got 1 out with runners on first and second. Tigers' first base runners since the first inning. They're trying to get something going offensively. Little blooper there to second baseman for the Bloomington Purple Raiders. That's Alec Imhoff out there. That's going to bring up Miller Calhoun.
Hopefully Miller can bring a run in here today.
Well, we'll just keep the line moving. Calhoun 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out back in the first, popped out in the third. He gets a hold of that one, popped back behind us, and a little bit to the side there, but out of play as evens up the count at 1 apiece. So 1-1 delivery here from pitcher Rylan Hambleton. Miller Calhoun gets a hold of that one. Unfortunately, hits it right to the left fielder for Bloomington. So the Tigers strand 2, don't get any across the plate, and we're still knotted up at 3 apiece, headed to the 6th inning. Ethan Crutcher due up for Bloomington. Levi Coffey remains on the mound for the Urbana Tigers.
And, you know, aside from a bit of a shaky second inning, Levi has pitched a very good game.
Both pitchers have, you know. Rylan on the other side of the ball has been good for Bloomington as well.
After a shaky first inning, he's pitched himself a pretty good game as well.
I think it could just be maybe about 10 degrees warmer, and it'd be about perfect out here, Mike. Anything you can do for me on that front?
I wish I could. I'd prefer it to be hot.
Come back in the summer, he says.
I mean, I'd be happy with 20 degrees hotter if that were possible. Put it in the 70s.
There you go. Crutcher up to bat for Bloomington. Leathers on deck, and in the hole for the Purple Raiders is Ben Wellman. To be determined if Coffey will see more batters than that this inning. Chopper to third and eats up poor, and reaching first base safely is Ethan Crutcher. It was kind of a hard one to judge where that ball was going. A few hops to that one. Poor not able to come up with it. Doesn't let it roll past him. He kind of dove on top of it in a way, and reaching first base safely is Ethan Crutcher. That's going to bring up right fielder Crew Leathers to the plate. Leathers is 0 for 2 on the afternoon, popped out back in the second and struck out in the third. He knocks that one down the first baseline, and it's going to stay fair. Miller thought about throwing that one to second, but there wouldn't have been enough time. So he does the wise thing, flips it to first for the easy out, gets the first out of the 6th inning here, and advancing the runner to second. So Ethan Crutcher on second. Crew Leathers with a sack bunt of sorts. And Hoffman wants to talk things over with Coffee. Catcher Ben Wellman to the plate for Bloomington. Wellman led off the festivities for the Raiders back in the 2nd inning. He had that solo home run shot to get them on the board first.
And looks like they're going to put him on base, but I feel that's more than anything, that's more of just trying to hope they can get into a double play situation. Try to get out of the inning as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Gorapesek had a real nice hit his last go-around. He hit it out into center field and was caught trying to get 3 out of a double. Caleb Kennel going to come in to run for Bloomington on first. And still over on second base is Crutcher. So just 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Runners on first and second. Here's the delivery from Coffee. Gonna gather himself once again. Been a couple of active dugouts today on Urbana's side as well as on Bloomington's side.
I'm just a little
Plenty of chatter.
A little confused as to why the ump told Urbana to calm it down, but it said nothing to Bloomington, which
You can't yell foul ball when it's in play. That was the issue.
Yeah.
And double steal there for Bloomington, so runners advancing to second and third now with just 1 out.
Foul ball.
Fouls this one off behind us. They're getting a little closer to you.
Yep.
Next one you should be able to reach over and grab.
Odell the ball.
Wild pitch there. Coming home is Bloomington, and coming across the plate as the Raiders take the lead. Ethan Crutcher scores safely on the wild pitch, and advancing to third base for Bloomington is Caleb Kennel. So Bloomington takes the lead here, 4-3 in the top of the 6th inning. Gorapesek takes second. So runners on second and third, just 1 out. It's an 0-1 count to Brady Newhouse. Newhouse chops that one foul. Coach tried to grab it down there, but not able to do so. He needed a mitt, right?
Yep. Got to extend yourself there, coach.
Got him swinging on that inside stuff there for strike number 3. That's the 5th strikeout of the afternoon for Levi Coffey. Looks like we have a switch here, as this isn't Matt Steers anymore. Look at my lineup. Looks like it's Cam Wilson, if I'm getting that number right. It is Cam Wilson.
I did not know you could wear 0 in baseball. I don't think I've ever seen a number 0 in baseball.
Well, I'm trying to think. Certainly there's been one, right? Other than Cam Wilson, that is. There's been at least one.
Only 0 I can think of in sports off the top of my head is Russell Westbrook. He's most definitely not baseball. And I think Dame Lillard, but they're both basketball.
And that's a well-struck ball into right field. 1 run is in. 2 runs going to score here. And Bloomington starting to pull away here in the 6th. Ooh, and just barely safe. I don't think he realized how close that throw was. But Cam Wilson into the game, and he gets 2 RBI triple there. So the Tigers trail by 3 now. It's a 6-3 ball game. 2 out here in the top of the 6th. Jason Liggett joined by Urbana High School senior Mike Monreal. Well, I tell you what, there have been a number of Major League Baseball players over the years that have worn both 0 and 00.
Really?
Any guesses on how many of each?
I'm going to go 5 with just 0, and I'm going to go 4 with 00.
16 players have worn 0. 20 players have worn 00.
Really?
Let's see if there's any notable ones here. That one grounded and into the hole on the left-hand side of the field. And coming across the plate to score is Cam Wilson, number 0. Alec Imhoff back up to the plate. He's got 2 ground outs and hit by a pitch, trying to steal second and doing so safely as his helmet pops off there. Is scorecard getting a little messy here. Is that Farrier out there? It is.
Yes. I feel like I'm wrong, but I want to say Andre Dawson wore 0 with the Expos.
And there's another big hit for Bloomington, but Jordan Smith out there to make the 3rd and final out of the inning. So the Purple Raiders leave 1 stranded, but they get 4 across the plate. They take a 7-3 lead here in the 6th inning. We're headed to the bottom of the 6th to see if the Tigers have an answer.
Hopefully they don't have to make it all up in the 7th. I was wrong. Andre Dawson did not wear 0 for the Expos. He was number 10. I had a feeling I was wrong on that.
I'm going to look up a list here if I have a moment.
And I know for a fact, at least, me being a Cubs fan, he was number 8 on the Cubs. He is. They retired Dawson, right?
Andre Dawson's number is not
Yeah.
retired by the Cubs, I
It
don't
is
believe.
not. Oh. So I know you got Sandberg and Santo.
And Greg Maddux and Fergie Jenkins, who both wore number 31, are retired.
And Billy Williams is retired, isn't he?
Maybe.
I know he's at least in the Hall. Him and Dawson are both Hall of Famers, but I believe Billy's retired, but I'm not sure.
Fouled back behind us, Alex Poor up to the plate now for Urbana.
Yep, Billy Williams, number 26. They retired Santo, Banks, Sandberg, Williams, Fergie Jenkins, and Greg Maddux are the retired Cubs players, along with, I know just like every other Major League team, they hang 42 up there with their retired numbers.
Mancuso fouls that one back. He's 1 for 2 on the afternoon. An RBI single back in the first, popped out in the fourth. See if he can get something going here for the Tigers in the 6th inning. And that one's ball number 4. So Mancuso's on base for the Tigers with just 1 out here in the 6th. And coming up to the plate is Garrett Fraley. Fraley with a single and 2 RBI back in the first inning, popped out in the 4th. See if he can advance the runner on first. I'm looking at the list here of zeros, and
Any real notable players or?
just trying to see if there's any current players. Wild pitch has Donnie Williams safe at second for Urbana. Two out here, runner on second. Donnie Williams advancing to third, and don't think he was under that tag, unfortunately. Could have had a little bit more speed going to the bag or getting down a little bit more, but Gino Hoffman not too happy with him as they're having a conversation on the way back to the dugout. So the Tigers get the one man. They get a board thrown out at third base to end the 6th inning. They don't get any across the plate. They trail by 4 going into the 7th. It's a 7-3 ball game in favor of the Bloomington Raiders.
Now, I do know for a fact there is one sport that you are not allowed to wear the number 0.
Tell me.
Football.
And I'm gonna look it up on you.
You can't.
Because
it's all specific numbers. So quarterbacks, punters, kickers, you have to be a number between 1 and 19. Receivers, you got to be somewhere between 11 and 19 or 80 to 89. Offensive linemen, pretty much anything from the 50s to 60s, 70s you can wear. Once you get up to the 80s, they don't too much like that, and they don't really like you wearing anything in the 40s either. They, at least in the pros, I know my number, they probably wouldn't have appreciated me wearing too much as an offensive lineman. 50s considered more of a linebacker number in the NFL. And then I know in college there's no rule to it, but the NFL is very strict on if you play this position, you have this number to pick from. But, I mean, in college, you can be a quarterback and wear number 32 if you want, or, be an offensive lineman and wear number I think they might have a rule for O lineman, but at least D lineman, you can be, like, number 5.
Nick Sharp up to the plate to lead off the 7th inning for Bloomington. George Plimpton wore 0 during a brief preseason stint as quarterback for the Detroit Lions.
Really? How long ago was that?
I was going to say, number 0 and 00 are no longer allowed, but they were issued in the NFL before the numbered standardization in 1973. So before 73, you could have those numbers.
I know a lot of people have called for that rule to be changed, but not much you can do about it. I think it's just so you can keep track of their position. So like you're not going to find a quarterback wearing number 44.
That one popped straight up. Calhoun's going to enter into the field and grab that one for out number 1. So Sharp pops out to start off the 7th inning for Bloomington, and Ethan Crutcher coming up to bat now. Crutcher 1 for 3 on the day. The line out, strikeout, and single his last time up in the 5th. That one outside for ball number 1. So if you're the Tigers here on the defensive side of things, you just want to get something quick and easy and try your hand at the offense, right, Mike?
Yep. Just try to get out of this inning as quickly as possible, and then just when you're up to bat, just do what you can. Hopefully you can hit a walk-off, Walk-off single, win the game. But
well, you're going to need more than just a walk.
Yeah.
You're going to need bases loaded just to tie it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Well, I think we're going to get you home in plenty of time. So we're just at the hour and 19-minute mark of this one. That one, ball number 4.
I think now for Urbana at this point with the runner on first, I think you're just hoping hit into a double play, try to get out of this inning. At least get 1 out here, but 2 would definitely be nice.
Michael Selmeyer, the junior for Bloomington, up to the plate. It's his first time in the ball game. 0-2 the count now to Michael Selmeyer. Crutcher's still down on first. He got a healthy lead the last pitch. Let's see what he does this time round with 2 strikes. That one's popped up and into foul territory back behind Bloomington's dugout. Well, I think Selmeyer is certainly the biggest player that we've seen today. Looks like he could have some power behind it. Haven't seen it at this at-bat yet, but hopefully we don't, right?
Hopefully.
He
And
grounds that one into the hole on the left-hand side of the field. Oh, and they've got a runner trapped here. Let's see if they can get the out. And not what you wanted there if you're Urbana. And that one's out of play, so Bloomington's going to get a run across the plate there. And Gino's headed out to the mound. I don't know if there's going to be a switch here. Just wants to talk things over. But now an 8-3 ball game. Coffey has pitched the entire game up to this point. Gino might just want to talk things over here.
Let him hope.
They're just 2 out away here from being done facing the offense of Bloomington. Perhaps, I suppose anything could happen, but Tigers now trail by 5.
And I think
in
that's
the
it
7th.
pitching-wise for Coffey, but I think they're moving him into the infield. And who is that on the mound? Looks like number 15.
It's going to be Hartley if it is 15.
Yep.
So sophomore Hayden Hartley on the bump now for Urbana. He comes in to get the final 2 outs here in the 7th.
And you're going to need a lot of offense from Urbana in this bottom of the 7th.
Well, we certainly appreciate you sticking it out with us here on Urbana Public Television, the Tigers Media Network. You can watch UPTV on Comcast Xfinity, Channel 6 and 1096, i3 Broadband Channel 6, and on AT&T UVerse Channel 99. We also stream live online. You can livestream.com/Urbana. Also available on the live stream channel and app on Apple TV and Roku devices. And watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/UPTV6. A few more warm-up pitches here for Hartley. So Michael Sellerman on third base. Ben Wellman up to the plate, just 1 out. And Hayden Hartley on the mound for the Tigers. He pitches strike number 1. So 0-1 the count here. That one up the middle and hit hard off the mound, goes bouncing into center field. And an RBI single for Wellman.
And I believe that run will be on Coffey, correct? Because he put him on?
That is correct. Coming into pinch run for Bloomington is Kennel again. And Gorapesic up to the plate for the Raiders. Well hit ball to shallow center field. Tigers can't get there, and Bloomington safe at first and second. And this will be Logan Hibbler, his first at bat of the ball game. Hibbler, a junior at Bloomington. That one on the outside corner for strike one. That ball gets away from Mancuso, and runners advance to second and third. So a game that was knotted up at 3 for several innings. Now a 6-run lead for Bloomington and a chance to add more here. Runners on second and third, just one out, top of the 7th. Tigers battled in this one, but Bloomington has prevailed so far. That one lined just past third baseman. And now it's Coffee out there at third. He's limping a little bit as he got up. I thought he had that ball, but it zips past him. And Bloomington gets another run across here. So runners at the corners. And Cam Wilson up. Number 0, Cam Wilson.
And it looks like they're going out to take a look at Levi.
Yeah, he was limping a little bit. I don't know if the ball came up and grabbed his ankle or shin, or if he just planted his foot a little funny and twisted a little bit. But Gino Hoffman off the bench and going to check on his starting pitcher, and now at third base, Levi Coffey. Well, Mike, you're set to graduate next month. Any plans this summer before college?
Not really. Probably just stay in town, most likely. Help the football team out a little bit over the summer. Since I've wanted to go into coaching, so it'll give me a little bit of experience, see how I feel about it. If coaching is the route for me, or if maybe I need to look into something different. But
you'll be helping Urbana High School's football team.
Oh yeah.
Is that the plan? Okay.
I wouldn't go help any other team. I couldn't do it.
And Coffee going to have to be carried off the field. So it, not really what you want to see, but good he's still with it and everything. But he must have, I assume it wasn't the ball. I assume he rolled the ankle or something when he went to go field that.
I think he planted it in an odd way, and it's hurting him a little bit. Well, more than a little bit, but I think he planted it just in an odd way.
So see who Gino has come out here to play third base. Wrap up the 7th inning here. Got some players for the next game scheduled at Prairie Park this evening.
Oh, there's another game tonight.
Yeah, not a high school game. I don't know if it's a college rec team or just a rec team.
It's like a few ISU players.
Yeah, I think it's a rec team though. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I'd assume at least.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be playing here.
So is that Donnie Williams coming into the ball game here to play third?
I believe so. Yes, it is. Throw him out. Oh.
Hibbler advances to second, so Bloomington with runners on second and third. Still just one out here in the top of the seventh. Swinging and missing is Cam Wilson on that one.
And yep, there's a car here to pick up Levi Coffey. I think they're taking him and going to get him checked out. Hopefully he's all right.
Base on balls there for Wilson. And here comes designated hitter Daniel Ferrier with bases loaded. That one outside for ball one, so a 1-0 delivery here from Hayden Hartley. That one popped foul down the third base side. That one inside, so a full count here to Ferrier. Ferrier 2 for 3 on the day with 3 RBI already. Coffee gets loaded into the back of that thing like he's a sack of groceries. And he's going to walk in a run here, so not what you want to see if you're Urbana. Mancuso's going to head out to the mound to have a chat with his pitcher.
And you hate to see that. Hopefully Levi's all right. Hopefully it's nothing too severe, but at least they're going to get it checked out now.
Tigers trying to get at least one out, and they do not do it. Bloomington gets another one across the plate. Nick Sharp back up to bat for Bloomington. Tigers have had their way with him this afternoon. He's 0 for 4. He's popped out 3 times, though, so definitely still making contact with the ball, just hitting it in the wrong place. That ball gets away from Mancuso, but the Raiders elect not to run. Bases loaded. They're up by 8 here in the last inning of the game, 11-3. That one high and inside. That one was inside as well, and
what?
Tried to get the double play there.
Called it out, then called it safe, I guess.
He got the out on the pop out.
Oh, okay.
And then whoever's the runner at second base dove back to the bag safely.
Hopefully they can get this last out. Just get out of this inning. Do what you can. Bottom of the 7th. Obviously, it's going to be pretty hard to mount a comeback, but hopefully they can do it.
So Bloomington's batted around the order. Nick Sharp had 2 at-bats in the 7th, and this is Ethan Crutcher's second at-bat of the 7th. He walked his first time up this inning. Well, I think the first 6 innings lasted an hour, and this 7th inning is going to last an hour, Mike.
It's been a pretty long inning. Even just based on the top of the inning, it was pretty long.
That one fouled back.
Come on, man, you got to get one for me.
Strike number 2. So 1-2 with runners on every base here, still for Bloomington. Tigers looking to get out of this nasty half of the 7th inning rather. They foul that one down the third base side, and Donnie Williams not able to come up with it. Left fielder's not able to come up with it, and Bloomington, nice just to have one runner in to score. They keep bases loaded here. So not trying to run up the score on us, but Urbana looking a little lackadaisical out there right now. They're down by 9, 12-3. That's a well-hit ball. That's from Selmeyer. Another run will come across to make it a 13-3 ball game. And another meeting on the mound here for Coach Gino Hoffman and the Urbana Tigers.
I think he's going to stick with them here to finish it out, but probably just try to get a little something in him. Hopefully he can finish out this inning and you won't have to throw someone else on the mound. But
well, 6 runs have come across to score here in the 7th. It's a 13-3 ball game. Urbana started off hot this afternoon. They got all 3 of their runs across in the first inning. No run since. That one's inside on Wellman. Two-0 delivery here from Hayden Hartley. And he gets strike number 1. That one low outside for ball 3. Another run coming in. I think they fixed the scoreboard somewhere around there. It's now 15-3.
Well, I guess I was somewhat right about the lot of offense in this game.
Jesse Gorapesic up to the plate now for Bloomington. Jesse singled his first time up. He's going to pop this up to second base, and it'll be caught by the Tigers shortstop for the third and final out of the seventh inning. So we're headed to the bottom of the seventh. Tigers up to bat.
Gonna need a lot of offense.
Well, and Mike, as you're set to wrap up your high school career, both as a student and a student athlete, I know that you wrestled all 4 years and played football all 4 years. What are some of your favorite memories being on the field and on the mat?
On the field, probably I'd have to say some of my best memories were obviously beating Central my freshman year meant a lot to me. On JV, we beat them. It's pretty. I mean, the score makes it look a lot closer than it was because, I mean, for most of the game, we just kind of dominated them. And the final ended up coming out 33-22, but, I mean, we killed them almost the entire game. The manual game my junior year that ended in the giant brawl. That game was a lot of fun. I mean, because I mean that's the only game I can think of where I was on the right side of a blowout in my entire high school career.
Brady Newhouse going to be on the mound for Bloomington.
And that and getting my starting spot junior year, definitely. And then when it came to wrestling, when I qualified for Fresh Soft State as a sophomore, that definitely meant a lot. And being named captain my senior year meant a lot to me too, because Traberis, when we were naming captain, said even if you're a freshman and you want to be a captain, you come and talk to me. And I told him, I said, I want to be a captain. He said, maybe next year. Next year came. He said, give it one more year. Following year came. He said, give it one last year. So I finally came to him again as a senior. I said, Coach, I want to be a captain. And next day I came into his classroom, and he told me, congratulations, you're a captain.
Very good. And, I know that we've talked about this a number of times on the air here, but not just at baseball games, but other events that we've covered of, what wrestling means as far as more than just a sport.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you get really close with your teammates. Obviously, guys will get on your nerves, and there are some guys that you can't get along with for the life of you. You try, you be as nice to them as you can, but it's just some guys it's just really hard to get along with.
Hayden Hartley going to lead off this inning for Urbana. He fouls that one down the third base side. No play on it for Bloomington. So 0-1 the count here as Newhouse waits for his fielders to get back in position.
Are you sure that'd be a rec game? Because it looks like the whole ISU team. I just don't know who they'd play against.
Well, that's the Illinois rec team down there.
Oh.
So I'm going to guess it's the rec team.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
And I just know that from the last time that we were out here. We passed them on the way out, I think, and it was the Illinois rec team. So a 15-3 ball game here in the bottom of the 7th as we see Hartley go down swinging.
And I think at this point, Gino's just kind of throwing some guys out there that maybe don't get as much playing time. Let them get out there, get a little bit of experience in.
Okay, we're looking. This is Gavin Grancy is how I would pronounce that.
I think so.
We haven't seen a lot of Gavin here on the Tigers Media Network, but he's up to the plate and swinging away right there for a strike. 0-2 the count here, and the delivery from Newhouse. 3 balls thrown, 3 strikes, and Gavin goes down. That's going to go back to the leadoff man for the Urbana Tigers, senior Jordan Smith.
And that'll be strike 1.
Smith 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles, 1 back in the first and 1 in the 5th. He gets a hold of that one. It's ripped down the right field side. It's rolling all the way to the fence. He's going to grab 2. I wouldn't be surprised. Yep, he's 3. And Gino's going to hold him at third base. So a triple for senior Jordan Smith. 2 singles and a triple. Not a bad day at the plate for Jordan.
No, pretty good day hitting for him. So he'll at least have something to hang his hat on. Obviously, it's been a pretty tough game, at least in the later innings of the game.
He's going to bring up Tigers third baseman Donnie Williams. Williams takes a hack at that, just a little bit late there for strike number 1. He's got Smith in scoring position. See if Williams can do something here offensively. Tigers down by 12. 15-3 ball game. Tigers scored 3 in the bottom of the first. Bloomington came right back and answered with 3 in the top half of the second. It remained 3-3 for the next 4 innings, and then Bloomington started to pour stuff on offensively as we see that pitch inside and
that
gets a hold of Williams. So now runners at the corners for Urbana and Jacob Welbus up. Well, it certainly turned cold here at Prairie Park. I think you could call it chilly, but after sitting out here for a couple hours and the clouds, there's been no sun all day long, but
it's like a small little bit before the game, walking out from my car, but
I must have missed that.
Yeah, when I was walking out from my car, there was
you must have been looking at the headlights or something of the car. I don't know. So runners on the corners with 2 out here for Welbus. Welbus popped out his last time up in the 5th inning. 1-2 the count. He swings at that one. It's chopped to the shortstop. He tosses it over to second for the 3rd and final out of this ball game. So it's a tie ball game headed into the 6th inning. Bloomington broke it open with 4 runs in the 6th and followed that up with 8 runs in the 7th. Bloomington snags one at Prairie Park, 15-3, the final of that one. And Urbana's 2-game winning streak, if you will, Michael, they won the previous 2 games. Going into this one is done as Bloomington wins big, 15-3. What can the Tigers do the rest of this season and next game to kind of bounce back after this tough loss?
I think you just kind of have to try to put this loss in the back of your mind. I mean, obviously it's gonna hurt, but I always kind of try to follow what the Cleveland Browns Joe Thomas rule. Yeah, the first 2 days after it happens, you're upset about it. That next day, it's right back to work. And depending on when their next game is, it's got to be right back to work.
So it'll be right back to work for Coach Gino Hoffman and the Urbana Tigers baseball team. They dropped this one 15-3 at Prairie Park. For Urbana High School senior Mike Monreal, I'm Jason Liggett. Thanks so much for watching on the Tigers Media Network.